What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the video. My name is Chris, as always with me, Liam. It is Liam today. He wasn't confident about the last video. Anyway, we're diving in today to Handmaid's Tale, Season 6, Episode 5. We've got some more stuff to uncover. The plans are unfolding. We are finally in the season finale. For those of you just tuning in for the first time, we did a little experiment with this particular series. Liam's watched everything up to date. I am jumping in with only a 20-minute preview of the first 5 seasons, and then putting it all together with questions and kind of theories as I go along. And then Liam's kind of letting me know if I'm on the right track or not with you guys in the comments as well, because as always, this is a discussion. We're not experts. We just really love entertainment and we love chatting with you guys about it. And that's been how we've grown this channel over 30,000 subscribers. So if that's what you enjoy too, you're in the right spot. We really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say down below. If you want to be part of our Patreon, go ahead and do so. The link is down in the description. Little as a cup of coffee, you help us out greatly and you get some cool stuff. And let's dive in.
Yeah. So you mentioned it's more the same.
Yeah, dude. It even opens with the long stare. I was just sitting there and I was like, really? Really?
I was laughing to myself when I saw that.
Yeah. No, for me, obviously, I have a lot less context, right? So I know just from chatting with many of our viewers inside the comments, there's a lot of animosity around this Serena Joy arc and her finding peace and what seems to be what she wants, like a happy marriage, children, being able to speak, read, have her opinion be heard, all these different things. Ultimately, I think that's not really where this is going. So don't worry, she's not really going to get her cake, but it does seem that way right now. So many people are upset. But for me, this episode had some interesting spots, but it was on the whole, I think this series for me has some things that would really irritate me if I'd watched the entire thing. So it seems to me, and please, I want to know your feedback on this, but it seems to me watching this so far and just watching the 20-minute kind of recap to get where I was, June gets really, like, she has really good ideas and really good intentions, but she's an emotional wreck and she sabotages herself like on every turn. And so it's like, we have all these great ideas. We could do all these awesome things. We could actually make a difference, but no, I'm going to just completely go off the rails for a second here. And if someone doesn't put me back on, I'm going to burn this motherfucker down with everybody in it. Right? Like that's like where I think she keeps coming from.
You're talking about that June and Moira scene.
Yeah. She was like, fuck the plan. Let's get her out now. It's like, what? No, the plan is she needs to be inside. Like, otherwise nothing works. And it's just like emotional wreck, letting everything just kind of get in the way. And I don't know, at this point, please let me know if I'm just going crazy. But at this point, 6 seasons in, multiple missions, probably one of the most qualified people to be on this team of people, but yet still can't get her shit together.
Biggest liability.
It becomes the biggest liability, yeah.
Yes.
And her husband, not Nick, but her actual husband,
Luke.
Man, what an idiot. That dude, I don't know. He has a death wish is what he has.
Yeah.
He has a legit death wish.
That's why I don't think he's going to survive.
No, I've already said multiple times in multiple videos. I don't think many of them do. But yeah, this episode for me was difficult just because I'm like, one, it started with the long stare that I'm already not very happy with. And then, it just goes into more of June just being chaos incarnated instead of I don't know. If this was 6 seasons of her just doing this over and over again, I probably would have quit many seasons in. But I'm only watching it for 1 season, and I'm pretty invested since we, are talking about it so much that, it's just, this was rough. This was rough.
This one was more like a filler episode, is what it felt like. Every once in a while, they would do these kind of episodes where it doesn't progress things too much at all, but fills in the necessary details that we need for later.
Yeah.
So in this episode, what I got from this is the whole Aunt Lydia thing.
Yeah.
With Serena. That is awesome to see her.
She called her on her shit, and that was fun.
Yes, it was. And it felt very out of character, but rightly timed, because she's always been too afraid to speak up. But she also was under this false illusion that she was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
in her own twisted way.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she really believed that they were getting like citizenship and all
Yeah.
this. Yeah, she believed it. Yeah.
But now for her to so quickly reverse and be like, you know what? You should go marry that dude so that we can get what we want.
Having the ability to see the error of your ways and then also breaking the habit of, I mean, how old is that woman? How long has she been doing what she's been doing? To start to think a different way. To see something is one thing. To change the way you start to think about it is a little bit different. And I think maybe she's willing to accept that she was wrong, but at the same time, she's programmed. So she's just going to go right back to, how do I manipulate? How do I do, like, right back to what she knows.
So that set up her story that's going to be coming out more and more, which I think she is going to ultimately be ending up helping June, because Janine's on June's side, as always, and that's her girl. She will go against all core beliefs for Janine.
We've seen, I've already seen that she's willing to put herself, her actual life in danger for her. So that makes sense.
Now we have Lauren.
That was the big part of this episode I took away. His arc, his whole story that happened in this, that was the piece that I was like, I'm going to hold on to that. That's the one thing that I think is going to be the most valuable from this whole episode, was what he learned in that peephole.
Yes. But he also had the balls to stand up to that piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
He hasn't been that outspoken of that kind of stuff before. Like every once in a while he will do something close, but nowhere near on that magnitude with the other leaders like that. And he's just, I think since he just became a made man type thing, right? He's like, I've got some power. I can see how far I can push it, right? And so I think that's truly what he's doing. But when he helps Janine, goes back room, he gets to go through the peephole and see everything and hear all these conversations. He knows that they're all just gonna burn him.
Yeah.
Put him on the wall.
We speculated in I think it was 2 episodes ago, that the backing of New Bethlehem is a front. That it's just their way of showing the other countries and, maybe even some of their own people who are turning against them, the rebels, that they're changing their ways, that things are going to be better. But ultimately, like they said, the idea is to reabsorb the populace and have him be the leader of the second biggest coup, right? And so I think he's now aware of that. We talked about it being a thing that they were planning, that they weren't just going to let him do this. They didn't want to get rid of their power. They still thought the same way they always have. But I do think that I'm torn on 2 different things. One, Commander Wharton. I don't know if he's necessarily actually evil. I think he's really may have actually fallen in love with Serena. Like he's actually oh shit, she's everything I've ever wanted.
I think that his beliefs served him to get him to where he is. And now that he's fallen in love and sees the opportunity that, hey, I can be with this woman, he's willing to give up all those beliefs that got him to where he is.
Yeah.
And so he's going to do pretty much anything she says from here on out. He's going to be a puppet. For her to be fair, she kind of did that to Fred also, her husband, but only as much as he'd allow.
I was going to say, he kind of turned that on her as far as I understood.
Yes, he does. He does. But in this situation, Mayor Warden, I think, is just going to go along with whatever she wants.
Yeah, because it's one thing to want to marry her for power, but he was willing to move, he was willing to do all these different I don't know. It just seemed very over the top for me. And maybe that's just kind of, has his character been introduced before this season? Are you do you know him?
I don't recall him very much, if at all.
Okay. Because he does seem like he's this new looming mystery threat, right? He's Rose's dad. He's kind of overlooking Nick. He believes he's a high ranking official in the old ways, but does he really believe it or not?
I think he's in older stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, so
just not a huge character type thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm torn because one, I don't know if Commander Wharton is actually going to be the demise of June or of Serena Joy there, not June. But the other thing is that now that Commander Lawrence is setting up New Bethlehem with Nick, and Nick's in charge of security, and all these things are going to happen, but these other commanders don't want it to happen. I think what ends up happening is New Bethlehem then becomes the home base of this rebellion, right? This is where June and Serena and Commander Lawrence and Nick and now Commander Wharton all come together and actually form what will be the final battle against the remaining commanders or whatever that don't survive the massacre of Jezebels.
Well, let's go back to Wharton real quick. We could go the opposite way, where once he gets married to her, it can kind of go down the route of what Fred did.
Yeah.
They were married before all this stuff ever happened, but slowly he took away her rights. So once he gets her locked in to marriage, he can do whatever he wants with her in their society.
In the new one too? Because in New Bethlehem, the rules are different.
The rules are different there, yes, but they're still under Gilead.
Okay.
Gilead is like a cult. It's a religion. It's a country. It's everything.
Yeah, well, I gathered that part.
So the Gilead rules trump all. If they want to shut down New Bethlehem tomorrow, they could. Easy.
Yeah.
So that would not protect her rights any shape or form.
Yeah.
She would completely lose those rights as well.
With there being, 3 episodes left to the season? Maybe 4? If they do 10, they would have to strip her rights away pretty quickly and bring her character down, almost like the fall of... I'm trying to think. It's not coming to my brain. But yeah, it would have to happen pretty fast. It would have to be the pretty fast fall.
One of the comments was saying something along the lines of, after this season right here, the show is over and there would be like a spin-off where they continue on with other storylines. And that's one of the comments was, in that same comment, was talking about the kids, like you were talking about, over.
Yeah.
So that would be cool to see. But let's come back here. What about Nick? That
He's doing more of that. I make the stupidest mistakes when I'm trying to cover up for June thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's where he's at. So he's covering his tracks, right? He has to go to the hospital and he has to make sure that anyone who could ever implement him in his actions is taken care of. And so we see him. There's got to be cameras in the hospital though, right? So I don't know how he just nonchalantly walked in, closed the door, locks it, does his thing. You got to think someone's going to notice that, but he does.
Cameras are weird in this series. They're not as prevalent as you would think.
Yeah. Okay.
They like to borderline on Luddite with a lot of their stuff. They don't use as much technology as they could be. It's almost like they're in the 1950s again in some of this stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it does. Based on the way they dress and act, it's almost like society stopped evolving technologically for a while. Makes sense.
And then towards the end, we have the whole interaction. June and Moira end up killing a guard that wants to sexually assault them, the same way they were just arguing over whose trauma was worse.
Yes.
That was a funny and lighthearted way to joke about trauma. It might remind me very much of the veteran community right there.
Yeah.
The way they were fighting and then just went to laughing about it.
Yes. Well, most people who can come out the other side of trauma usually can laugh at almost anything at that point, right? It's that dark humor that we find. You have to find the silver lining in anything kind of thing. But one thing I want to talk about as we talk about the fight scene or the death scene where they kill that guardian, what do you think is going to come of the letters? So he locks the letters in the safe as collateral, right, to get him to do what he wants. But then they kill him before they can get the letters out. Now, they hide the body really well, right, which the magic incinerator in the Jezebels they get to use. But when they sweep looking for this guy, they're not going to open the safe.
Why would they? That wasn't his room.
Okay.
It's Janine's room.
Yeah, but now when they sweep...
Yes, Janine would be at fault.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When they sweep, they're going to search everything, right? Every piece of evidence, everything they can find to see what may have come up different, right? Why is this guy missing? Let's search everything. And they're less than property to these people. Yeah. These women. So their rooms, their possessions mean nothing to them. They're going to throw everything. It'd be like if someone left their fucking footlocker unlocked in boot camp, right? You're going to walk in, everything's everywhere, right? Same kind of thing. I would think if they were looking for one of their guys, they would turn that place upside down, trying to find any evidence they could to find that guy. So they're going to find these letters that Janine's not supposed to have in her freaking safe.
I'm not sure if it'd come from a search, though. Because yes, they value their own people. At the same time, their own people are just expendable to nothing. They don't care as much as I think you believe they do to them.
Okay.
And in the same light, there was no reason for that guy to even be in that room, the guard.
So why'd he go in?
I don't know.
Okay.
He could have heard them arguing and just came in.
That was one thing I was like, while they were talking
Yeah.
that whole time, I'm like, man, for two people who are supposed to be undercover, you're just yelling at each other right now. I'm like, no one's hearing this? So that does make sense. Maybe he did hear it.
And that's why he came in and decided to take advantage of a situation because, again, another piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's pretty consistent inside of Gilead, right? So,
Yes. But let's go to the end with Lawrence and the interaction with Moira and June.
yeah. So, with the new information that he gathered through the peephole, it makes sense to align himself with June again. Otherwise, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? You're tying yourself to an atom bomb. But at this point,
You really don't like June.
I just-
and I hated her forever.
I just think that of all the characters, she's the reason they're all suffering. Like, yeah, there's some evil dudes who are doing some really dumb things. Well, not dumb, but really awful things. But she's doing really dumb things that are making people suffer even more, right? So it's like, damn, like, stop. You are the problem. Or one of them, like I said, one of them.
I keep mentioning that Commander Lawrence is a better person than you would expect him to be.
He's just a coward. We've talked
Yes.
about it. Yeah, he's just a coward.
And so in him doing this, I mean, you saw how he stood up for Janine and he was able to get her out of it. He didn't want anything wrong to happen to her. And he knows how that guy is, obviously. A terrible person. But he consistently will do the right thing if no one's looking.
That's the opposite of integrity. You do the right thing when no one's looking. So it's a coward, right? He'll do the right thing if it's going to benefit him, and two, if it's the thing that like it needs to be seen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think because it left off as the cliffhanger of them both getting in the trunk and they start to say something, he just slams it. I think he does that more of annoyance and to fuck with them. I really do. But I don't think he's going to turn them in or anything like that. He's going to help them. And he definitely has the information that his life's going to be ended one way or another. So he's looking for an exit strategy. And this is Kismet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. They were like, can you get us across that? No. Commander Lawrence, so for someone who has only walked in, again, very minimal context of who these characters actually are, I would say that I am rooting for an endgame where you have Serena, Commander Wharton, Nick, which I don't know how that would work because Rose and Wharton and Nick and then June, but June's with Luke, so that may work, but Luke's not going to live. So there's a lot going on there. But Moira, so basically like their team, Janine, who's not going to unfortunately make it, but like them all be like the home team against Gilead and the remaining commanders and the evil fucks that we see, you know, inside of Jezebel's. And there's way more worse people in DC apparently that we haven't even met yet, like the really high ups.
Yeah, some of them have like these face masks and gags and stuff because they don't want their women talking at all.
Yeah, that was the one thing in the preview that they had. The closer you got to DC, it was like the stricter the rules were. Like even their handmaidens weren't allowed to speak. Handmaids. I keep calling them handmaidens.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so interesting to see where it goes. Like you said, a little bit of a filler episode, but I think we have the Battle of Jezebel's coming up next episode. So we got some action coming.
One thing I want to say is I 100% believe that Janine is going to survive and be fine.
Ooh, interesting. What do you guys think? That would be an interesting twist. The one who almost suffered more than anybody actually walks away from this thing.
I think she will because she has survived literally everything she wasn't supposed to.
What if her guardian angel there, the old lady,
Lydia
is the one who actually dies in place of her and she gets to live? That'd be
a nice twist. And probably for people who've watched it, quite a tearjerker, even though she's one of those characters you love and hate at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, she thinks she's doing the right thing. Yeah, she has helped when it's absolutely been necessary. But at the same time, she's still Oh, just want to wring your neck.
Yeah, so it's a world of evil people with evil beliefs. So
It's kind of like what Janine said. Like, don't get me wrong, you're not a good guy, but where we are, you are a good guy.
fair to them. You're good. Yeah, for sure. Well, let us know, guys, down in the comments. What do you think of this episode? Who do you, based on our little predictions here, who do you think is going to make it to the end? Do you actually want to see Serena get a somewhat of a redemption arc and actually become a good person?
No.
Are you on that team or are you not? Do you think Nick makes it? Do you think Luke makes it? Are you on team Nick or Luke too? I saw someone else talking about that online. I'm like, oh, we weren't the only ones chatting about that. But yeah, interested to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. Thank you for making it all the way to this part. If you have not already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a single episode that we drop. We drop multiple episodes on multiple shows a week. So this is not the only one we're chatting about. So if you actually want to check out some other ones, we have entire playlists of them. I'll tell you about it in a second. But my name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
And if you do want to check out those playlists, we got one right here. It's actually all of the handmaids that we've done so far. We also have an entire list of Prime that we've done. We've got a lot of really great series that Prime's done a really great job with that we love to chat about. And a lot of people love chatting with us about them. So you can check them out here as well. As well as one above my head that YouTube says you might like. But for nothing else, make sure you hit subscribe and we'll see you on those videos. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.